everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about how I think the Google Pixel 6 phones are too late. Now, I don't mean too late in the sense that they shouldn't have made the phone. I mean too late because it's already into October and we want it to compete with the other phones like Samsung and like Apple that have already been out for a while. So I have questions about this strategy because when you look at Samsung and they already have the foldable phones that were super exciting. Those came out over a month ago. Then we have the iPhone, the 13, the 13 Pro, all four of those devices. Those just came out, and we're now into the first week of October. We don't know what the launch date is. We presume it's going to be out this month, but it's one of those things where it's like, why couldn't they have put it out earlier? And the reason that I say that is because, yes, we know that Pixel is like its own thing. They walk their own path. They do their own thing. That's one of the things we like about the phones, but at the same point in time, from a marketing perspective and trying to sell your devices, I think it would have been better if they got out ahead of the other phones. So if you've got somebody that was looking to get a new flagship phone, especially an Android phone, they were probably looking at other stuff. We had an opportunity this fall because, well, the Note 21 didn't happen. So that left a void. Of course, Samsung put out the Fold 3, they put out the Flip 3, but I think it could have been much better served for the phone and for the target audience that they're trying to sell it to if it came out before these other phones. There's going to be people that already went out and got an iPhone 13. They traded in whatever other phone they had and they got an upgrade. Now, I don't think this is going to impact current Pixel users too much. Maybe that's what they're banking on. Not sure. I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes at Google. This is just some speculation and conjecture on my part. But looking at it, you usually want to get out before the competitors, not after. And if you want to make a compelling argument for buy my phone, I don't know that this was the best idea. Now, I hope that the phone is good. I think it will be. I'm excited about it. There's a lot of hype, especially in the tech community, surrounding this phone. You see a lot of people, it pops up. We saw the iPhone keynote. We saw the Samsung stuff. We saw the foldables. And then people are like, I'm still waiting for the Pixel. This makes me more excited about the Pixel 6 than before. Seeing the iPhone 13 really makes me happy that the Pixel is coming. Well, there are also a lot of people who went out and bought the iPhone. So they've always done this though. And thankfully this time, I like that they're going this route with their own silicon, whatever you want to call it. So there's a difference. There's no E on the end of it. Now, whenever we talk about the Pixel phones of past, they've always come out later. And we know this. It's an expectation that typically we have. The A series will come out earlier, at least since their advent, and then we get the normal series ones later. But I always felt that that was wrong. There's a lot of space during the summer, during the early fall time. This right now, this time of the fall is very, very competitive because all of the big phones come out. And yeah, being on the tail end of that I think is problematic because if you get all the good stuff, historically, Samsung and Apple have had much better deals, much better trade-in deals, much better financing specials, and wider availability. So I know that Google is attacking the marketing arm of this much more than they have in the past. So I'm expecting to see more of them on carrier shelves. I'm expecting a more aggressive campaign once it gets out. Of course, the Team Pixel army, hey, I'm part of Team Pixel. They send me a phone. I'm going to review it. As soon as I get it, there's going to be videos that come out. So I think that they're pretty good in that department and getting the phone out to a lot of people to cover. That's great, but the phone needs to be there for people to buy it, and they need to be able to make a decision about it. So, of course, some people are going to say, well, Apple and Samsung users are not the target audience. The target audience is anyone who's going to buy this phone. The Pixel people are going to buy it regardless. If you've got a Pixel 4, you got a Pixel 5, a Pixel 3, whatever, if you like Pixel, typically you stick with that. I don't know a lot of people that go Pixel and then go back. Typically when people like a brand, they kind of stick with it. So I'm not expecting to lose a lot of Pixel people because they've been waiting for the 6. They know about it. Those are not the people that are going to make or break this phone. They're going to buy it anyway. The people that are going to make or break this phone are going to be new people coming and adopting the phone. I mean, Google's not just making this phone only for Pixel current users. They're making it so they can hope to establish a larger footprint in the smartphone space. Hopefully it's disruptive. Hopefully it brings some people over because that's the key metric. I made another video just yesterday talking about the things the phone has to do to be successful, but looking at that at a lower level and analyzing it, it has to sell to new people. If they don't sell to new people, they're not going to have a successful phone, which is why you see them out there advertising a lot more than they have in the past with other phones. So Google, I think, knows that they have to convert people. And I feel like launching it after the phones you're competing directly against, that people like more generally and that sell millions and millions and millions more, and typically have better incentives and better exposure and don't even need the market because everybody knows what an iPhone and a Samsung phone is. Hearts and minds is where it's at. You've got to convince people to switch over to your device, whether that's 100,000 people, whether that's 1 million people. I don't know what they perceive or what they believe is a successful conversion rate, but it's got to be there. And that's why I think that the phone is too late. Now, is it too late for it to still succeed? Maybe, maybe not. Is it too late that they won't still convert people? That's something that we're going to have to look at. We'll see if Google even puts that information out, especially whenever it comes to sales numbers, because some companies don't really do that now. And it's usually a sign that a company is not selling a lot of phones, just so you know. But when it comes to converting people and getting people to buy it, it might be too late. So I hope it's not. I hope that people will go out and buy this phone, but it's really hard to do when you get people that wrap themselves up in these, 2-year, 3-year agreements where AT&T gives you $1,000 to trade in your old phone to get a new one. It's just really hard to try and convince people in a space that's so aggressively marketed towards keeping their current customers and getting new customers. And Google's just never been able to figure that out. So, hoping for the best, crossing my fingers. I think we need this phone to succeed. Of course, Google needs the phone to succeed. And here's the thing, though. It is weird because Google is like one of the richest companies in the world. The phone doesn't actually have to be a huge game-changing critical success for them to continue making phones. Sometimes I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking half the time. But whenever it comes to their actual success as a phone company, they're successful everywhere else. So they can lose money here. And I think that they need to aggressively lose money by making these things affordable and giving people a lot of money for them to switch over. Said that in my other video. They have to target people and give them a reason to switch over. And the biggest convincer is money, and that is in the form of trading credit. So hopefully they realize that. Hopefully they could look at it and say, look, we're not competing with these guys. We weren't going to beat them anyway. Maybe that's why they say we'll just launch after them. Maybe they don't want to get caught up in the competition. Maybe they don't want people to have to make that decision where they walk into the store and say, all right, I can get this or this. They both just came out. Which is the best one for me? The Pixel 6 and 6 Pro look more compelling, more aggressive, and more eye-catching than any phone that they've ever made, at least in my opinion. Some people are going to go back and say, I really like the Nexus 6. Some people, look, I get it. But this right here is the latest. It is the greatest. It is the last and best great hope that I think Pixel has to try and establish themselves in this position. There needs to be a solid number 3. And there are a lot of people fighting to be that number 3 position in the Android smartphone world. I just wish that they would get their ducks in a row. Like, they put out some decent hardware, but they don't give it a chance to succeed and thrive. Conversion is key here. They've got to get people to put down an iPhone. They've got to get people to put down the Samsung phone and move over. And that's hard to do whenever you put it out after they've already had a chance to trade in and get the new exciting phone as soon as it comes out. Sales are very high whenever you have the launch events. So when you have the Samsung event, they had people that are like, look, we've got the Z Flip 3. We lowered it to $999. A lot of people are excited about that phone. You have the iPhone 13, the 13 Pro series. People are excited about those phones. I know the tech community is excited about the Pixel 6. I know that Google's trying to spin up some buzz about it, but it's been months. Like, they put out the thing saying, look guys, here's our Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Here's some of the specs. It's got a 6.7 inch screen, a 6.4 inch, the Tensor chip. That's been a while ago. So it's cool that they put that out. They generated that buzz, and I don't doubt that they're probably targeting, like, getting more of this stuff out there to try and generate more buzz. But the biggest buzz would be to get the phone out so people can buy it. And I just feel like that should have been sooner. Now, look, I don't work for these guys. I'm not the one making their marketing decisions. They pay people probably millions and millions of dollars to decide when to put this phone out. But if you were to ask me, and if Google called me and said, hey, when do you think we should have put this phone out? I probably would have said in July. And that's just me. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.